I'm Tom Flanagan. I'm with DIT Hothouse, run DIT Hothouse. We do the technology transfer and we do the incubation as well. So if you are thinking about starting up a company, we're there to help you, and there's a number of companies that we have done that for. There's also technologies that come out of the research across DIT that we license. And we've done about 50 licenses, similar to Trinity, in fact, over the last 4 years. So we have a lot of interesting things to license. DIT, of course, has about 20,000 students. We're in about 39 locations around the city, so you can hardly miss us. And we've about 1,700 staff, to give you an idea. This I thought was an interesting chart I saw one time at a conference. It was from IBM, and it showed where did the sources of great ideas come from for innovation. And you can see there that it's not one that most academics would present, because it shows academia as not being the top of the list in terms of where you're going to get some new ideas. And I think that's very true, because I think research is all very good, but there's an awful lot of work, and that's what the last line is about: 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. That's what Edison said about genius, but it's also true about innovation and about collaborating to innovate. There are great ideas within your companies. You know the issues, you know the problems that need solving, you know the kind of issues that you need help with. And likewise, we have technologies that may be of interest to you. What I typically do is when I meet people and find out what their business is about, it helps me to hone in on what technologies we might have that would be of interest to them, rather than give them the full list of everything that we've got. Although if you do want the full list of everything we've got, I do have a little brochure that I've put at the back. And there's, I'll leave that one there in case anybody needs as well, has a list of everything we've got. So you come with lots of ideas. We have technologies as well that we often find we're not sure what they're good for. And again, in the engagement with you, we find out that there are very interesting applications that we wouldn't have thought of otherwise. One in particular that I can think of is a piece of software that is pattern recognition technology. So this pattern recognition technology, we've been able to license that for a number of different applications. We licensed it to somebody in the financial trading area for Forex and for analyzing markets and predicting the future markets. We've analyzed as well for skin cancer, looking at the pattern of skin cancer and allowing somebody to figure out whether or not they've got skin cancer, or whether it's before they have to go to a doctor and a specialist. So it's a low-cost type solution for that. And it has multiple other applications. If you think about pattern recognition in your own business, there may be opportunities for you there. In terms of the companies that we have coming through the Hothouse program, or the New Frontiers program as it's called these days, there's a range of companies there. Profitero on the top left-hand side there has won the IBM Global Entrepreneur of the Year award, and that is a company that's come through our program. And you can see a whole range of other companies there. At the bottom here, Decawave is a good example of a company who comes in to design a chip that will act as a location-based service chip that will identify. It'll be like a tag. It'll identify where anything is plus or minus 2 centimeters, indoor or outdoor. And we provide the antenna for that. So it's a coupling of a company that has a very good business plan, a very good approach to market, and then there's a little extra technology that they might get from some of our labs. So there's a range of companies in that kind of space. If we just look at the, last year we did 1 in 5 of the licenses across the country. And that's very substantial considering the level of research funding that we have. So a lot of our research is really, it's not that we're particularly good in the tech transfer office, it's that a lot of our research is really very applied. So if you come in and you have a particular problem, we can work with you to try and solve that problem. That's really the game that we play. Just to give you a summary of when people ask me what's DIT good at in terms of research, I typically say that it's computer science and material science. And that's the simplest version. If you look in the computer science area, at the top set there, information, applied intelligence, that's all about computing and data processing, data analytics, and so on. And we have a lot of work in the media area around language learning, animation, and so on. Dublin Energy Lab is focused on new schemes and new technologies and simulation. So if you look at the ESB website, you'll see an engine there that tells you about the efficiency of your home retrofit. The engine behind that is something that was licensed out of DIT. And then in the wireless space, I talked about the antennas and so on. In the new materials, we're doing a lot of interesting things in new foods. In Cattle Brewer Street, as you're probably all familiar with, there's a whole group of people down there that are doing everything that they can to create new foods for us, and also look at the extract from foods and analyze and process that in a way that they get improvements in developing antibacterial and coating, antibacterial materials, probiotics and so on, from seaweed and from apples and from wheat waste and so on. So there's a whole plethora of activity there. CREST is the Centre for Research in Surface Engineering. They've developed a number of different coatings. A good example of that would be with the coating, an antibacterial coating that we've licensed to Vitra to put on tiles. So the tiles in your bathroom could be antibacterial. Likewise, the ceramics in your bathroom could be antibacterial. And we've been applying that as well to fabrics, because a lot of disease gets transported around in fabrics. The tie of the consultant coming to visit you in hospital is a danger. And so on. So it's being applied to glass, being applied to wood and so on. So it's a number of applications from that. And the industrial engineering optics is around the whole area of holography. Now, holography is something that doesn't exist in Ireland today. Nobody's doing holography in the way of producing holograms. We don't produce holograms in Ireland. But we have a perfect little setup that we've been working on to produce low-cost holograms and unique ones that would take you into a new space. So that's a particular business partner opportunity. So if there's somebody out there tired of the day job and wants to start something new, we'd be very interested to talk to you about that. And finally, the Construction Products and Services Alliance. This is a call for partners. We are looking for people in the construction area. Of course, we're already engaged with CITA, but we're looking for people in the construction area that have new ideas for new products and new services, and we are building a technology gateway in that space. I jumped too fast. One last chart here. The other area that we have gotten funding from the HEA recently for is to build up a whole environmental services, and together with DCU and University of Ulster, and with Dublin City Council, the HSC, the IPH and EPA, we are looking in this space of improving the health for populations, basically, in Dublin and elsewhere. And this will be kind of fundamental to what we do up in Grange Gorman, which is, of course, our next thing. Now, John talked about the innovation vouchers, the innovation partnerships. There's a whole plethora of ways of funding. Funding is never the issue. If you have a good idea, we can find ways to fund the research around it. Really, we can. And all the universities and all the colleges are very adept at that. So it's nothing unique, but there are a number of different schemes. And if you're interested in being involved and steering the research, then you can obviously get involved as on the steering committee of some of the research centres that we would have and so on, and drive the research agenda. Or you can just come in and get a bit of consultancy or license the technology that we have. So there's a number of different ways. So it really comes down to what's your business and what's the business opportunity that you have in mind. Finally, an opportunity to collaborate is, of course, we have had an announcement over the summer there of the 260 million the government is investing in building our new campus. So Grange Gorman is about the same size as Trinity, to give you an idea. And although you wouldn't think it, it's very close to the north side of the university. It's just north of Smithfield, and it's very close to the inner city. By 2015, we're already starting to do some build. We have the planning, we have the master plan already in place, and we're starting to do some build. So we expect to have 1,000 students there in 2015, and half of the staff and students there by 2017. So it's a great opportunity. We're building a new campus. This is the biggest construction project in Ireland over the next short while, and it's a great opportunity. We're looking to envision a new campus. So if you have any technologies or anything that might be interesting, we'd love to hear about it. So there we are. We have applied research, and we have an ecosystem of companies that have been through our hothouse program that are all anxious to collaborate and innovate. I think collaboration is very much a team sport. It's about engaging. I'm delighted with the networks and how the networks have collaborated today for this event, and thank you very much.